Hi everybody. It's been a while. Hi. So you might be wondering, why are you doing a YouTube video, Gabby? Why aren't you just streaming this weekend? And well, to be honest, my sister's getting married this weekend, and I really had some cool things I wanted to share with y'all, and unfortunately, I won't be able to do that this weekend. So I figured I would record a video. We're going to open up some packs. Thank you so much to Pokemon for sending me home from Worlds with this Lost Origins box that I have literally not cracked into yet. We're not going to open the whole thing because I have some stuff I want to talk about. And the whole second half of this video is going to be scripted. So I will probably put the cards away when I start reading that because I got to play Pokemon Scarlet and Violet early. I still can't believe it happened. Thank you again so much to Nintendo and to Pokemon for the invite. Again, I'll be discussing that in the second half of this video, so if that's something you're interested in, you want to just skip all this boring Gabby update stuff, you can click the link right above now, and that'll just skip everything that I'm about to do. So, bye! See some of y'all on the other side. For those of you who are sticking around, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over. This is my cool card opening setup. As you can see here, I have my phone as a webcam, and I have my microphone here. And I think we're going to open up 10 packs. So let me just count those out real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is just so that this video doesn't go on too long, because I don't think I'm going to edit this, but I have to be nice to future Gabby on the off chance that I do edit this. But yeah, it's, as you can see, Lost Origins is cool. I love the pack art. I love the fact that the Lost Zone is back. I think that's a really cool mechanic in the TCG. And I love Enamorus. Like, Enamorus is honestly one of the Pokemon that I'm most excited for possibilities for VGC later on. But I have no idea if that's actually going to happen or not. So let's go ahead and open this up, and let me tell you about some of the stuff that I've been up to recently. So I think the last time I regularly streamed was before Worlds, so I'm going to start there. I went to Worlds in London. It was amazing. I was one of the people who got to commentate Pokemon Go this time around for the first ever World Championships, and I also got to be a part of the finals, which was really cool. So I absolutely loved my experience there. It was such an amazing weekend. Doggo. Because, okay, so the Ariados is the rare in this one. I'm just going to put the energies to the side. It was such an amazing weekend because it was, again, the first time that Pokemon was really at Worlds. And as a result, or Pokemon Go was at Worlds. And as a result, I felt like I got to be part of something really magical. All of the gameplay was incredibly top tier. For those of you who don't really watch competitive Pokemon Go, I think the thing that stood out to me the most was just how close the games really do get when you're at basically the same level. Like, I feel like with VGC, once you get good enough, a lot of games just come down to RNG, or it comes down to just who made the right prediction in a course of like 2 or 3 turns, and that decides the match ultimately. Unless it's like a hard matchup or something, at which point, you know, that's just its own thing. But in Pokemon Go, everything just comes down to like split-second decisions, and there isn't much RNG involved in the game at this point. You know, there are opportunities for attack drops, there are opportunities for like stat changes. Obstruct Obstagoon, I think, was one that we actually saw show up a couple of times on stream. But overall, I'm gonna do the thing, actually. I want to open them this way. Overall, it was just really close battles all around, so that was really fun. Also, it felt so good to be back at Worlds. Like, being able to be in that environment again, and oh, this is a baby. Oh, this is a baby. All right, those are going in the baby pile. And being able to just enjoy Pokemon with friends and enjoy Pokemon in a place where everybody was just there to have fun was amazing. And thank you so much to Pokemon for having me as one of the Go commentators this year. Obviously, the big thing is that Worlds is in Japan this upcoming year, and I'm already trying to make travel plans for that, and that's also super, super exciting. So yeah, we shall see how that works out. I feel like I've talked about Worlds in the little bit that I have streamed since Worlds, so I won't talk too much more about that in this video. That being said, you know, happy to talk about it whenever. I also did Baltimore Regionals, which is really fun. Again, really high level play, really, really close finals in that one, and just a really good way to kick off the Play Pokemon season for Go this year. I really, honestly, I was surprised at how quickly the community like came to and like was ready to just jump right back in again. I feel like it's appropriate that I'm stopping on Phantom here because Trevenant is like a very OP Pokemon in Go right now. Like people were just ready to go, no pun intended, and that was really great for me to see because given that Go is newer on the circuit, I think that, whoa, oh my god, I really wanted this one. Hisuian Sneasler is one of my favorite Pokemon from Arceus. So the fact that, here we go, the fact that it got a Radiant form in this set and the fact that it just looks so good. Ah, okay, this is going in the baby pile. And a Dugong, that's also a Pokemon Go Pokemon. The fact that people were just ready to go and are really want their invites, I think was something special for me to see. So that was amazing. I have watched a bit of regional since. I know that I haven't really gone and commentated any other events since, and that's something that I'm hoping to jump back into soon. I wanted to go to at least like one event a month was my goal for this year. So this month, obviously, I'm sort of taking a month off, but sort of not really. So that's cool. And we'll see where I end up after this. I don't know what other events I'm going to as usual. But I think regardless of if I commentate or not, I'll be in Hartford because that's just a drive for me from Boston. So that's kind of cool, but we shall see. Oh, and this is, I love how they have the border here to indicate that it's a card that deals with the Lost Zone. That's really cool. But the reason why I said that I'm not really doing an event this month, but I'm sort of doing an event this month is because I was at TwitchCon and I was at PAX West during my sort of break, if you will, from, ooh. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't know you could do energy straight to the Lost Zone. That's kind of cool. I wonder what the benefit of that is, though. I wonder if there are cards that, like, fetch energy from the Lost Zone directly. Kingdra's a favorite, so baby pile. I was at PAX West and TwitchCon. I did the same panel at both conventions about just, like, balancing your life and content creation. And I think that was really important for me to do. I have been struggling a lot personally recently with my commitments and content creation and like trying to find time to, you know, do everything, be an amazing engineer at my job, you know, be an amazing person taking care of my house, being an amazing content creator. And the truth of the matter is that there just isn't really that much time. So it has been a bit of a struggle. I keep messing this up. And I feel like being able to talk about it on those panels was helpful for me because it just gave me the opportunity to not only like share my own stories and like say some of the stuff that I wish I could say or someone told me when I started. Oh, this art's cool. I like that. But also just hear from other people and learn from other people. So that was really good, I think. If you want to watch the panels, I believe both of them have actually been archived. 2 rows arrayed in a pack. That's cool. So I'll try to link to those in the description down below. If you were going to pick one to watch, I'd say watch the TwitchCon one, if only because that one was officially recorded by the convention. So I think the audio is a little less scuffed. And also I feel like that one was a bit more like resource driven, if that makes sense. Like it was less like, let's just talk about our experiences and more like, here's are some tools that you can do to help you out. And I've actually been sort of working on those myself. Like I wrote a script to this video. I mean, I'm off script now, obviously. I said I wouldn't go on script until the end of the video or the second half of the video. But like I wrote a script and I'm using some of the techniques that I picked up in this panel to basically make this content, which is pretty cool. It was also nice to just have an excuse to hang out with my friends when I'm not working. A lot of content creators went to Worlds this year, which was amazing. Like, I got to see Steph, V, Glitch, Faymata, Carlos, or Insane in the Rain. He wasn't at Worlds, though. He was just at PAX and TwitchCon. And, like, people from Gravitation, which is my Twitch team, Pokemon BB, Steve, Pokemon Cast. Like, I got to see all of them and actually hang out with them, which was really cool because I don't normally have that time if I'm working. Like, if I'm working an event, my focus is let me put on the best show I can put on, you know? And if I see people for a hot minute, it's a great minute, but then it's like, okay, back to the grind, back to the show. So being able to just take a step back and really enjoy, really enjoy people's companies just filled me with love. Guardian of Love. Prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon abilities done to each of your Pokemon that has any psychic energy attached, except Enamorous V. I don't think this is really competitive, I'll be honest. That doesn't sound like a great ability, but I just think this Pokemon is really cool. Like, it's the Trick Room Genie that I've been hoping for all my life, so you are going in the baby pile. Still a little bit freaky, but let's be honest, all of the Genie's designs are. So the other nice things about PAX and TwitchCon was also just getting the opportunity to do a bit more of the like networking stuff. Because again, when I'm at a Pokemon event, I'm usually behind the scenes, and if I'm not behind the scenes, I'm resting up for when I have to be on camera again. So being able to say hi to a few people that I've never met before but have seen around, or being able to just chill, I'm just gonna put this straight down there, was really, really appreciative. And I think that I'm definitely gonna go to PAX East because it's basically a freebie. Like, I'm in Boston. It's, oh, I like this art that's going in the baby pile. It's like literally a Lyft drive away for me. I think that that's gonna be something I oh my god, I got the baby. I really wanted this card too. I love Ikari and Pikachu. Admittedly, I picked the girl trainer in my playthrough of Arceus, so I really only know like what I saw Chalky play through, but they're just so cute together. And there's one part where she says like Pikachu wouldn't really appreciate that, and I just feel that on an emotional level. Like, ugh, I'm so glad I pulled this. Honestly, my only other chase card in this set is the Aerodactyl card that I think everybody wants, because that one also is just amazing. But this is so good. And an eel. All right, cool. Actually, eels are back. This was a really competitive deck back when it was. I don't know when exactly it was, but I remember people complaining about eels, and I was like, huh, I should get those, and then I never did. So yeah, I'm gonna try and go to more conventions. I think TwitchCon, I would be open to going to it again. I'm not gonna necessarily make a commitment to go unless I know a bunch of people going, because I feel like that would be a bit of a weird con to just kind of roll up to solo. But I love PAXs, and I'm gonna try and look for some other stuff in the Boston area maybe to go to too. So it's like less traveling, but still, you know, those opportunities to meet people, I think, is what I really want. I also need to be mindful of my travel because I have a puppy now. If you have been following me on Twitter or on Instagram, you may have seen pictures of Cheese. He's the beagle that Chalky and I adopted, like, literally during PAX West. I was on the floor with Chalky, just being like, oh, these are pretty. Like, talking to him on the phone, like, Skyping with him, or not Skyping, FaceTiming with him, trying to figure out, like, okay, are we gonna adopt this dog? But I'm so glad that we did. Cheese is such an absolute baby. I'll link his Instagram in the video description down below if you want to follow puppy content. I only post pictures of him there. Like, it's not like, I don't know, some weird Gabby outlet, so only follow if you want dog pictures on your Instagram. But he is so sweet. He's a rescue beagle. Oh, is this okay? There's a slight delay, but I think it's okay. He's a rescue beagle. We got him from a lab called Envigo, and the unfortunate thing about that whole situation, this card is good. I'm putting this in the baby pile. Is that, you know, he was used in some experiments. We don't really know what. So he has a couple of weird behaviors that he needs to sort of work through. I like this card. This is going in the baby pile. This is... but he's been working so hard and he's so smart. Like, he'll just like cuddle up to you. He's learned tricks very quickly, which I'm very proud of. And I've wanted a dog for so long. Like, just having him in my life has been really a blessing. Again, it is kind of sad because that's another reason why I haven't had as much time to stream, because he's only 8 months old. Well, now he's 9 months old. And as a result, we can't really leave him unsupervised in many places. But overall, like, he is such a good puppy. And I feel like when he does sort of snap out of his puppy behavior and, okay, let me try and, there we go. And he like gets better at being a puppy. I love Mawile. I love this art. That is so pretty. There we go. That's going in the baby pile. It's going to be really great. But I just asked for a little bit more patience, I guess, while he's still getting through the baby stuff. And if you want to follow his journey, Cheese the Beagle on Instagram is his handle. So, yeah, and that's actually the perfect wrap up, because this is all the cards I was going to open today. I am trying to save some for stream, so yeah, I guess be mindful of that. Honestly, we got some pretty good hits here. Considering that I only opened up 10 packs. These are just good art. The fact that we got the Pikachu, the Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, the Enamorous V, and just some of the cards I was looking for art-wise as well is really great. So thank you again to Pokemon for the cards. I really appreciate it. I'm going to sleeve these and stuff after the video, because now we're going to start part 2 of this video. So let me go ahead and switch back to my full camera. All right. So again, this part is going to be scripted, so I apologize. I just want to make sure that I stay within the boundaries of what I want to say, because I got 1 hour to sit down and play through Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which was honestly incredible. And I'm not just saying that because, like, you know, it's the new games and everything's super cool and everything. Like, this is something that I never really thought I'd have the opportunity to do. So the fact that it happened, you know, thank you so much to all the people at Pokemon and Nintendo who basically extended the invite to us. I think, you know, the other people who got invited as well. It was like a mix of press and like content creators, which was pretty interesting. I think this is the first time that they've really let people have hands-on in this way. We got 1 hour to sit down and play through 3 different stories present in the early parts of the game. The first gym battle, the Titan battle against Cloth, and Starfall Street, which is the first base battle against Team Star. Because we only had an hour to play through, I really had to rush to get to these story events, unfortunately, to try and get to all 3. But I didn't really get to all 3. So as a result, I will only be talking about the gym battle and the Team Star battle. I'm sorry, Cloth. I did not have time to battle you because I kept getting distracted by the open world. I personally love Legends Arceus. I love having the ability to wander around the wild area without really much guidance or restriction. You know, just being told, like, here's a spot on your map, like, make your way towards there. And then just being able to catch or battle or pick up items or whatever else you really want to do. And Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, from my impressions at least, feel like a very natural inclusion of that aspect of Arceus in the mainline games. Admittedly, you know, it is different because Arceus is a very different Pokemon game, but it still has that, like, wanderlust feeling where you want to explore, you want to climb, you want to fly, you want to do all those things and just get lost in Paldea, which is what I was hoping for from when they inevitably took the Arceus things and put them in the mainline series. To be honest, I kept having to be rushed to get to the story points because I just wanted to explore. And I really appreciate being rushed, to be honest with you, because the story parts are fun too. And admittedly, I know that the storyline in Pokemon games can be hit or miss depending on what you're looking for. But I had fun. I had fun. I started off by wandering towards Starfall Street, which is, the first Team Star battle, as far as I could tell. And the way that they constructed this was pretty different from previous games. So if you think back to like Red and Blue, or, insert previous game here, you really have to like go into a base, and it's a lot of like 1v1 trainer battles, and then you get to Giovanni or whoever, and then like that's it, you're done with that area. But with this game, the first part of the challenge for these bases is a timed battle, actually. And you kind of run around the field, and you have to throw out your Pokemon in Let's Go mode, and then they fight the grunts on their own. So it's really like a management thing rather than, like trainer battle after trainer battle after trainer battle. It's a pretty big change from typical Pokemon battles. I will admit that it took me a while to sort of figure out how it was supposed to feel. I also lost my Cetitan early on because I kept misreading the UI. So if you look at like the trailers, you'll see that like the normal typing is here, and then the Terra type is like down here. I kept on reading it as like dual type. So that was pretty bad. Setting an ice type Pokemon into essentially a fire gym. But overall, I was able to clear the base with my 2 remaining Pokemon, and it was kind of fun to just run around, throw your Pokemon out in Let's Go mode, have it fight those battles, and then you're already sort of looking for the next group to fight. It was pretty straightforward. Again, once I got the hang of it. But it's definitely an adjustment, and it's definitely something new that I don't think there's really an equivalent of in Pokemon games yet. Once you're done with that challenge, you end up fighting Mela. That battle is really great. Without giving any spoilers, I basically had to rely on terastallizing, and I just waited out Drought from Torkoal because there were like several turns where I was fighting her Torkoal, and I was doing like 5 damage, and it was great. I can only hope that weather mechanics are a big thing in this game as well, kind of like how Raihan's gym was in Sword and Shield. I mean, Torkoal is still Torkoal. We've seen Torkoal do well in so many different competitive formats. Like the fact that it was early on in the game and it was just being sort of annoying, it gives me hope that maybe it'll also introduce these concepts to people for like competitive play post game. But yeah, it was fun. It was also a little bit different than what I would expect from like a boss battle, so just keep that in mind, I guess. It really does feel like they're trying to do some new things within the Pokemon formula throughout this game, which I really enjoy. But then it's also nice that you have the gym battles to sort of balance out like the new stuff that they're trying out. I had to rush over to Artisan, which is the city/town. I think it's actually a town, where you fight the first gym leader, the grass type gym that's been shown in the trailers. There really wasn't too much there that hasn't been shown in the trailer, to be honest with you. It's a gym battle. You have to find the Sunflora before you can go battle the gym leader, sort of like how in Sword and Shield you had the trials prior to your fights. I enjoyed that part. I thought it was cute. You're just basically running around town looking for Sunflora, and then the Sunflora follow you as you find more, so you just end up with this like mob of Sunflora chasing you, which is pretty great. And yeah, the gym battle, again, really straightforward. Basically what you see in the trailers, terastallizing is a key component in the game, which makes sense, as in previous games, whenever, with Dynamax, every gym leader had their Dynamax Pokemon. I have a feeling that's going to be very similar for this game. The one thing that I did note, and the reason why I actually wanted to go to the gym battle over fighting Cloth, despite the fact that I love Cloth, he's a fantastic Pokemon, it's a great design, is because of the music. It's totally a Gabby thing to pay attention to, and I don't think that a lot of people playing these games or playing Pokemon games really pay attention to the music as like a central part of the experience. But for me, music for Pokemon is always like really interconnected. And admittedly, it was a little bit hard to hear in the room because they had different stations going all at once, and everybody had, you know, their TV speakers on and whatnot. But I really loved the music that I did hear so far in the game. There was one moment in particular when I was going from one area in the wild area to another area in the wild area. And it was a very seamless transition, and the music also was a part of that transition. And it shifted from, you know, the music that was playing before to a style that really complemented the look, the feel, and the encounters found in that area. And I don't really know if anybody else cares about that, but it was just such a little thing, such a subtle thing that just made it that much more impressive to me, that it really sort of knocked my socks off, for lack of a better word. Like I was there, like, and I just had that moment, and I was like, oh my God, like, wow. And I think the people watching me play were like, really? That's your thing that you're freaking out about? And it's like, yeah, that, because music is part of my life. I love music. From what I heard, the soundtrack overall is very vibrant and fun, and I feel like they're sort of taking inspiration from, you know, Spain, which is this, I guess, inspiration for Paldea overall, which is pretty cool. And I really hope they release a physical music collection in Japan at least. I know that the US has been hit or miss with music releases, and I try not to think about that too much. But Sword and Shield never got a super music collection, so I really hope that we do get one for Paldea, because, again, what I heard so far, I really enjoy. And I'm also really glad that there is, like, that chant music that you can hear in the trailers, like, that's back again, because I really wanted to get a sing-along going at Worlds for Worlds Finals with the music, but then that didn't happen, so 2023, Japan, if you're there, let's sing along to the songs, I guess. And then just some other random like notes and thoughts that I wrote down that I wanted to share. The Pokedex with the magazine style entries is really cute. You can see in the trailer that when you catch a Pokemon, I believe it was Farigiraf specifically in the most recent trailer, that showed this, but you basically get like a little magazine page, and it's like a cute picture, very Pokemon Snap-esque, of that Pokemon in the wild doing whatever it is that Pokemon does. I loved that. I thought that was such a cool thing to add. And again, it shows that they're like paying attention to, you know, oh, Pokemon Snap, really big thing. People went nuts when they announced Pokemon new Pokemon Snap. And that's just been a really nice nod to sort of that aspect of the series. I also found myself trying to catch Pokemon just to like see what their image looked like, which also meant I had less time. So I'm looking forward to completing the Pokedex this time around, if only just to see what everybody's catalog entries are. Crafted TMs are reusable. Necra was the one who caught this, so shout outs to her. But if you craft a TM using the items that you pick up in Let's Go mode, you can reuse it as many times as you want. You know, they are TMs, they aren't TRs. So you don't have to like worry about recollecting these consumables in order to craft and then like recraft if you're somebody who needs like 20 Protect TMs, for example, or TRs, I guess it would be in that case. You can just craft it once and then you have the TM, which I think is fine for competitive. Honestly, I think I would much rather have a central place where I can get all of my TMs rather than having to run around and like figure out which town has what and then also like buy them or something. Money? Nah. The last thing I wanted to call out is that making sandwiches is a physics-based game, which is great. This is such a weird thing to fixate on. Like, this is like the music thing I feel like is understandable, but the sandwich thing? But I barely had enough time in my hour demo to like try making a sandwich and doing the whole picnic experience. So I was being rushed and I was like, well, I'm gonna build a bad sandwich and see what happens. So I put everything on the right side of the sandwich and it didn't work, and it was just really hilarious. So I just think that people are going to have a lot of fun playing with this feature. I want to see everybody's bad sandwiches, because it's really different from like Curry or Pokeblocks or Poffin, where you have like a mini game where it's like mash this button and then stir and then give it your love. It's a lot more creative, and it's also a lot more shenanigans. And the buffs that you can get are incredible. So like I think that everybody should make sandwiches, and maybe make them bad sandwiches on occasion, and then share them with me on Twitter so I could be like, haha, that's a bad sandwich. That's great. So yeah, this brings me to the second part of the demo, which is where we did a Terra battle as a group. One thing that I don't think was covered really in the trailers, but that you can see in the trailers, is that these battles are actually more real-time than they are turn-based. So you don't necessarily have to sit there waiting 40 seconds for your opponents to click in their move, or alternatively default to, whatever the first move is on their Pokemon. You can choose when to attack or when to cheer, and cheers are guaranteed to provide the buffs that they say they will. So it was definitely more chaotic at first, because you didn't really know what was going on, and like you had a lot more to pay attention to, and your opponents were just kind of like doing whatever. Or not your opponents, your teammates, I guess, in this case. But I really liked having that chaos compared to max raid battles in Sword and Shield. It gave everybody an easier way to strategize ultimately, because after like the first turn or so, people were pretty staggered in when they were attacking or when they were cheering. So you could like, be able to attack, wait a couple seconds, see if your opponent or if your teammate needs a buff or needs to heal or whatever, and you can decide to cheer, or you can decide to just go for the attack. So I think that it'll be a lot smoother than some max raid battles, especially when you're playing online with people that you can't necessarily communicate with. I was definitely the healer of the party. I thought about being the tank, because that's typically where I go in those situations. But the way that our group was playing and the way that our battle played out, they just really needed somebody to heal. So I did that. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to using the online features to play those with friends, and also to just run around and see if I can pair up with randoms, assuming that functionality is back. We were obviously on local wireless, which does make it a lot easier to, do that stuff. So yeah, that was all. I wish I had more time to play through the games, because I honestly left just absolutely excited for when the games do come out. Instead, I've been actually playing a lot of Legends Arceus on the side, to just finish up the Pokedex and enjoy what the open world feels like, as I feel like that's like the best thing that I can compare my experience in Paldea to at the moment. But I will also say that, and this is, if you take one thing away from this video, I really want it to be this. My strategy for new Pokemon games coming out is to just try and remain as unspoiled as possible and go in with no expectations. It's because I don't really like how the internet treats new Pokemon releases right now. I feel like it's very much a race to see who can find the new Pokemon, who can get through the story the quickest, who can, I don't know. I can't even think of any other examples, but, it always feels like a race. And I don't like that. It's why I don't stream games on launch. It's why I just, literally go offline the week the game comes out, or the week when substantial leaks happen, which is usually the same week. And then just go in as blind as possible. And I find that I have a lot more fun that way. The amazing thing about Pokemon games is that you can honestly make of them what you will. If you want to blast through the game with a team of fully trained competitive Pokemon, you can. If you want to just play through with your favorites, you can. If you want to do a Nuzlocke, if you want to just shiny hunt for hours on Route 1 so that you have a shiny Baneri to bring through the story with you, you can. There's no restrictions on how you can play these games. And I really think that how Scarlet and Violet is crafted from my experiences so far is just a very natural acceptance of the fact that people will play through games differently. You can just blast through Team Star, you can go through the gyms, you can go fight Cloth and do that whole thing. And there's no right answer, and that's okay. So if you are still watching this, please respect other people's desire to play the game in the way that they want to play. Please don't feel like you have to aggressively post spoilers because you're going to miss out or you have to rush through or whatever. It's such a fun time to be a part of that hype and to be experiencing the game together for sure. But there's a way that you can participate in that hype without ruining it for other people. So just food for thought. You know, I think that we need more opportunities as fans to just relax and enjoy the games that we do play rather than worrying about what the end game is or who isn't in the Pokedex or honestly trees. So yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. And again, thank you so much to Pokemon for the opportunity to play through Scarlet and Violet early, in addition to sending me home from Worlds with Pokemon cards. I will be opening those up on stream eventually. But until then, I really appreciate all y'all who gave me this opportunity, and I cannot wait to see you in Paldea.